You're listening to Mind Over Money, presented by Waymaker. Hey Archie.
G'day Lachlan. Great to be together again.
Yeah. Well, spring is here, the year is flying by, and it's a good time to check in with our goals. Maybe you've set a goal this year to improve your finances and see some growth in that area, but life has got in the way as it tends to do. Well, whatever's happened this past 9 months, we've got 4 left in the year, so this is a great time to reset our thinking and start taking action. We've got a new season, and this is a new opportunity available to all of us right now to get our finances working so we can stop living in frustration and fear and worry and move into a place of greater freedom and confidence where we know that we're achieving our goals. So that's what we're talking about today. The question is, how do we get our cash flow working?
Good question, Lachlan. And the answer is we need a system. We need something that our brain can work with, that we can understand and know what's actually going on. And as our listeners would probably start to already be seeing, is the advertising is already ramping up, ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
And 70% of retail sales are going to happen at Christmas time. So that means, we've got to be ready for that. And that's where a system can be really helpful.
Yeah, we've been talking about this all year on the podcast, and for a good reason. There are lots of benefits to having a cash flow system in your finances. So we're going to talk about the 3 main benefits today. And so number 1 is that a cash flow system helps you define your goals and achieve them. What do we mean by this, Archie?
Yeah, when we first started talking about this, my brain immediately started seeing cars, and I bought my first car was a red car, and I think every time I saw a red car after that, my brain was just taken to seeing what that car was.
Yep.
And every time I bought a car since, I always get pulled into seeing the exact same car. So this is a good way for us to understand that whatever we put our focus on, so if we create some goals and we create a picture so that our brain can lock in on that, then we're more likely to be able to achieve it because we have a focus to it, and our brain will keep picking up stuff that it needs to do to make that happen. So, another classical example would be buying a house. So you start thinking about buying a house, and all of a sudden you see all these houses for sale, and you start seeing all the ads for the loans and the home loans and all the rest of it.
So when we define our goals, we're giving our brains something new to look for and focus on. So it's as if we're giving our mind a set of eyes in which we're going to see the world around us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And this will create less stress because, and especially if we've got a system where we can see exactly what's going on, that'll really remove the stress because we can start to see that we're actually going to be able to achieve what it is we've set out to achieve. And so if that's buying a home, then we can see how we're going to get that home and what we're actually doing to achieve that. So that takes away, that fear, that worry, and we can tell ourselves, we can even speak to ourselves about our situation and go, no, we're okay. As soon as we hear those negative voices, we can go, no, we're okay. I can see it. I can see the money. I can see what's happening. We're okay. And you can knock off those negative voices.
Yeah, the power of setting goals and focusing on them. It also helps cut out the noise. So we were talking about this, I think the other day, is talking about this set of eyes, how we see the world. If we see our world through, say, the cost of living crisis, which is what the news is saying, there's a cost of living crisis. If that's the viewpoint of your brain, you're going to be stressed all the time and your cost of living is going to go up. You fulfill what you're thinking. That's why we called this podcast Mind Over Money. There's a reason for that. And so again, that's another filter working against your goals. And so we need to define the goals so we can really focus in on achieving those and clear away this noise, which is actually hijacking our goals.
Yeah.
Because what we're focused on is where we're going to go.
Absolutely. Like we've got members of Waymaker where the cost of living hasn't really gone up, and it's because of how they operate and how they live has not been affected, and they haven't been pulled into that whole thing of this cost of living crisis that's been created by the media. and obviously the shops love it because it's a marketing ploy now. Like the classic was the other day I saw a car ad, and the car ad is, come in and see us and we'll get you into a new car and we'll get your car repayments lower. We're going to fix your cost of living crisis. Like they were using it to sell a car.
So how does our system actually help people define their goals and focus on them?
So we have a dashboard within our Waymaker tool, and that dashboard is where we can start to see what we're actually working on and what our problems are, what we're putting our focus on. We've got our financial goals set out there, and we're able to start to track those goals and what we're doing to achieve those goals. And we're also putting our values in there as well. So what are our values around money? And therefore we can see, is our money going to what we value?
Yeah, there's a lot of research that shows that we are more stressed when we're operating outside our values. Yeah. And so if we're spending in areas we don't actually value, that's only adding stress to our finances and ourselves.
Yep.
I like the idea of the dashboard because we're tracking the areas of our life that we want to improve. So we know this with sports and exercise. We use fitness trackers and, coaches to help us track our performance in sports. And really winners are trackers. And so we can apply the same to our finances by actually having a dashboard to track our progress and track the areas that we want to improve.
Yep.
Okay, the second benefit of having a cash flow system is that it helps you take action with small daily steps. So we know that friction stops us from doing things. But we also know we need friction for there to be change and growth. So to achieve a big goal, we've got to break things down into little daily steps and keep that friction minimal. For example, a morning routine to help us get going in the morning, helps us set up habits that create success every day on repeat, helps us get our body and our brain into a great state and be ready to solve those problems that come up throughout the day.
Yeah, look, I love my morning routine where I go out and work in my orchard and my veggie garden. That just sort of gets my mind into a good place, gets me ready for the day. And I really notice it when I don't do it. And it's the same with finances. When you don't have that system, it's really hard to get into a place where you're comfortable. And so you can actually start to look for big wins instead of picking up all those small daily wins. And so we get a bit of a lotto mentality. And, today's the day, going to win big today. But we don't know what we're going to win or if we're going to win. And that can cause a lot of frustration for us.
Small, tiny steps every day over time can radically improve your life. And so I guess that cash flow system really is like a morning routine. It gets you into the zone. It's a routine, a daily money routine that you can use throughout the day. And it gets you into a good place about thinking about your finances and using your finances. That's going to set you up for a win.
Yeah. And the thing is, we've got it all on the phone. We've got the ability to see what our dashboard is, what we're tracking, and see what our daily finances look like, all there. The thing about the bank systems, they're all advertising now how great their phone app is, and it can tell you how much you're spending. But that's too late. That's the whole thing about these apps that the banks have created. It's giving you information, but it's too late. All it does is stress you more when you see how much money you've spent and you don't know what your goals are and what you're actually tracking for.
Yeah.
So we want to have a really good system where we can catch problems early, and that way we can, really keep on top of our finances and know that we're okay.
Yeah. Okay. Number 3. The third benefit of having a cash flow system is that it improves your communication with your partner or spouse and your support team. What do we mean by this, Archie?
Mate, we can be giving away so much money. That's our problem that we're wanting to fix here is, how much money we're giving away because we don't have the conversations or have the decision-making capabilities to actually work through what's happening with our finances, especially with our partner and especially with any support team that we're working with. So everything can become, what do you call it? Like it's just ad hoc.
Mm.
So we might be talking to the accountant, and we put our focus on saving on tax, but we don't have any real plan. So we save a bit on tax, but what does that actually achieve? Might give us a bit more money to spend at Christmas. If we line up our tax return with our Christmas spending. One of the key things that we see, problematically, is that it can become a race to who can spend the money first. If we don't have that good communication that's happening with our spouse or our partner and with our support team. And so it can be just a race to spend the money. And so, that's not a fun place to live. And we see this happening regularly through people that we start working with and, come on board to get support from our Waymaker membership.
Yeah, we have to have something we can go to with our spouse or our team and to actually communicate around. That dashboard, that banking system that we can look at together and work through things, make discoveries, find patterns and overcome problems, help us see what we don't see as well. Because that's the thing. It's like having a mentor, right? They can see patterns that we don't see, and they can help us see those patterns as well. And then we get to the decision whether we want to actually make a change and adjust where we're actually heading, the long-term altitude of where that pattern could lead us. And it also removes the guessing and the assumptions. I think a lot of frustration and friction in relationships is like, okay, what's this bill? Like, wait, hang on. What did we spend on this? Like, did we actually allocate money towards that? And we don't have some kind of baseline to actually measure and have conversations around. There's just a lot of guesswork and a lot of assumptions. And that's a place of great frustration in a relationship. And really, it's unnecessary. You can avoid 90% of those frustrations just by having a system that creates a really great place to communicate from with your partner, your spouse, and anyone else that's helping you with your finances.
Absolutely. What I really took notice of in financial planning, being a financial planner, since 2005, is that you can have all these great strategies, and you can do up a plan with people about how they can have all this money, and the whole thing just goes back to entropy. And the thing is, and that all stems from a lack of communication. So there's no point having a team around you, and that team's helping you to look at strategies and ways to put good financial systems and strategies in place if you haven't got that communication and if you haven't got that ability to see whether everything's actually working or not. Yep. And so, so working in the financial planning world, I've seen so much frustration and, so many plans just fail because of this lack of communication. And that's the one thing that we've seen in Waymaker, where when we see the communication lift, we see everything lift. Yeah. And that's one of the big benefits of having the system is that everything lifts.
It's the reason why we started Waymaker, because we saw that financial planning, you can put these great strategies in place, but everything goes out the window if you don't have that good communication between you and your spouse, your partner, and the people that you're working with. Yeah. And so that's really where we're trying to bring in that system to help change our perceptions from false to reality. Yeah. And have a place that we can operate in with great communication.
Yeah. And you can get one person pushing to have something. Say it might be an investment property, thinking that that's going to fix everything. And then the other person isn't keen on it because they don't understand it. They don't know what the value is. And then you can end up doing something that causes more problems, more communication problems and, more fights over what's happening. And then what could have been a really good strategy, turns bad.
Yeah, we've seen it where nothing's been done. And there's no communication. And then what happens is 3, 4, 5 years down the track, the blame game starts. And that's not a great place to be in. Yeah. We really want to help people avoid that and start taking action together with the finances. Yeah. Both taking responsibility, both understanding, both making decisions. Yeah. It's a great place to be in. Really is. It's the joy of what we do at Waymaker is seeing people improve their communication and understanding around their finances and be able to take action and be in a really great place. So that's what the cash flow system does. It helps us define our goals. It helps us take action in small daily steps, and it helps us improve our communication, how we're thinking and talking about our finances with the people that are around us. So we really wanted to just finish this episode a bit early today with a call to action. And that is to install the Waymaker cash flow system, which includes the dashboard, the daily cash flow system, which incorporates banking apps. It incorporates the support team and the advice of our team here at Waymaker and our wealth partners that we work with as well. So you can go and book a free call with one of our advocates to talk about this cash flow system, see how it can help you see the bigger picture of your finances and take action. You can do that at waymakerfinance.com.au. Book that free call. It'll take about 30 minutes on Zoom. There's no obligation, and that'd be great.
Yeah, there is just so many benefits that come out of this. Yeah, those key benefits make such a massive difference. You know, you're just reminding me of like the hell that my wife and I went through when we first got married and where we live now because we have a system. And I would never go back there. You know, as soon as you started talking about it, I was just like, oh yeah, that was so bad back then. Yep. And it's so good not to have those problems anymore.
All right, guys. Well, waymakerfinance.com.au. The link is in the show notes. Book that 30-minute free call with one of our advocates and take action with your finances. We've got 4 months left of the year, and we've also only got limited places in our membership. So don't sit around for 4 months. Book in that free call and have a chat to us. Thanks as always for listening to Mind Over Money, the podcast that helps Australians have finances that work. We'll see you guys again next week.
Cool. Thanks, Lachlan. So this podcast is for education purposes only and is not financial advice. You can head to waymakerpodcast.com.au if you'd like to connect with one of our trusted wealth partners, such as a financial advisor, accountant, mortgage broker, or buyer's advocate, and they can help you get advice that's tailored to you and your financial circumstances.